Okay, so obviously now with the Switch family being out for nearly 4 years, games, the software, and other stuff will obviously have been developed. However, there are actually a few select pieces of software and hardware and other things that I think really should come to the Switch. So as I previously mentioned before, obviously the Switch has been out for 4 years, and that is enough time to make several streaming services available. But as a matter of fact, there are only three. There's YouTube, which is worldwide, Hulu, which is only available in the US, and then, out of all the choices, Funimation, which is anime, only in the UK. Now, there's actually a way to get Netflix onto the Nintendo Switch, but you have to install Android, which is a whole other topic I will not be covering about because Nintendo is very strict. Also, there's no Disney Plus and Apple TV and other streaming services like that, which is really annoying. But I mean, we have it. I mean, it's on like everything else, but it would be convenient to have it on the Nintendo Switch. But another group of applications I think that the Nintendo Switch should have in the future is cloud gaming. Think of it. Nvidia literally makes a custom chip for the Switch, so it wouldn't be hard for Nintendo and Nvidia to partner up and make like an Nvidia game stream application for the Switch. And as well as that, you could also make an Xbox cloud gaming application because of their new beta program. And even though they both competing in the same market, at the same time, they really aren't competing in the same market because the Switch is really for gamers who want to play on the go. But the Xbox and PlayStation are more for hardcore gamers, and the Switch could also appeal to a select few hardcore gamers if it had the ability to actually, stream Xbox or PlayStation games. Now, going ahead of what I just said, Nintendo has made a lot of consoles in the past, like the Wii U, the Wii, but obviously there's a lot more, I'm not going to cover it. And even though some might not have sold as much, both of the consoles have had some exceptional software. The Wii U has had games like Batman Arkham Knight, Zombie U, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, stuff like that. And it would be great to have all these games coming to Switch and being able to play these games anywhere instead of just having to sit on a TV without being able to, go anywhere you want. Because also the Switch, that was the main feature, and that was why, it was so much hyped up. I'm not going to go into my other video. If you haven't seen those videos, go watch it after this one. But yeah, the thing is about them is that you could still play backwards compatible games like Virtual Console. Obviously, it wasn't backwards compatible, but you could still buy you could buy the games instead of having to subscribe and pay a dumb fee for a month, per month or per year, which was annoying. But anyway, now hear me out. I know that backwards compatibility for the Nintendo Switch sounds ridiculous because Nintendo have only released games like cartridges on consoles like the N64, and that's just not gonna fit in the Switches, but it could actually work with a few minor tweaks. Basically, if Nintendo had developed a special disk drive and a free software on the Switch, which looks free, but then you have to buy a disk drive and then also buy a Wii or Wii U disc, and then you insert the disc into the disk drive, and when you play on that specific drive, it could get rid of all the spills, possibly upscale it to like 1080p, and also double the frame rate from maybe to like 15 to 30 or 30 to 60. Now, this would obviously be better for Nintendo if you think about it, because they save money on cartridges, because if you don't know, cartridges cost a lot more than traditional discs to like produce and stuff. But yeah, by not making as much cartridges, but reusing old Wii and Wii U games and reselling them by adding a bit of like code into the main source code by saying like, oh, this can work on the the disc drive, the Nintendo Switch disc drive, and then just slapping a sticker on that saying Nintendo Switch disc drive compatible or Nintendo Switch drive compatible, and then you could just bump up the price and you could make a bunch of profit. Now, this would actually be better for the consumer. Because say Nintendo releases some Wii games like they just did with Skyward Sword, instead of it being a whole $49.99, it would actually be cheaper, as they literally just taking the old game and just adding a bit more stuff to it instead of literally having to take the whole game and redo it literally from scratch, instead of using the bare minimum in some cases and just like reworking the whole game. But in this one, it's the same game, so all they gotta do is just add a little code saying it can work in this drive. That's it. But yeah, so how will they save you money? Well, if I'm going to buy Zelda Skyward Sword for £50, but if I'm going to get it for the disc drive, I would spend £20 for the game, and then I would spend £30 for the disc drive. Now that's £50. I know what you're thinking, but literally Zelda costs the same price, and you know, the disc drive version that you're saying costs literally the same price. But if I buy a Wii U or Wii U Port again for £50, that's £100. But the disc drive version would be another £20, which means that the full Switch ports would cost you £100, but the disc drive ports will only cost you £70. And when you buy more, you'll save more, obviously. Now, just to add on that, what I just said, say for example, I have now bought lots of games, and I now have 16 games for a regular port of a Nintendo Switch where they just scrap everything and just rework everything. Now, if I want to get that, and they cost £50 each, that's £100. That's a lot of money. But if I buy 16 games for the disc drive port, if it's all £19.99, that's £350. That's a lot cheaper. Because think about it, that's £450 savings. That's the reason. Now the reason why it's actually really cheap is because the disc drive is a one-time purchase. Instead of having to spend £50 after £50 after £50 on these new games, which are just old games, but just slapped with a Nintendo Switch stick on it. But yeah. Those are the reasons why I think that it should be added, and also why it's meant to be so cheap. But that's it for now. I have been making really short videos, but the video do take a while to edit. Like probably a day, because after you literally so much stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching. There is going to be a new review related, not on the PS4 maybe, but related to the PlayStation 4. That's what I'm gonna reveal, hopefully, for now. But yeah, please just comment, because the reception on the last video was insane. Like, I know no one really liked or commented, but just seeing after me having not uploaded for a while, and then seeing the views just go up in a bit, in a few hours, that's just insane for me. But yeah, you don't have to and subscribe, but please like and subscribe. You don't have to. I won't mind if you don't, but please. But yeah, that's all from today. Bye.